we use the lens of human trafficking to ask ourselves a question of how are the children in Uganda and the whole world, the answer is going to be the children are not safe. The children are not protected. Welcome to our online talks. As today we are talking about the children, what is child trafficking, and what are some of the forms of human trafficking. And a child in Uganda is defined as someone who is below the age of 18 years according to the Ugandan constitution. And also, when the UN is defining child trafficking, it defines it as one of the forms of human trafficking that involves harboring, that involves transportation and transfer of children for slavery and forced labor and exploitation purposes. Today, when you look at children and how they are, it's really worrying, and it's so bad that children are not safe. And one of the forms of human trafficking that is so rampant, that affects almost the whole world, is child sacrifice. Child sacrifice is one form of trafficking that children suffer a lot, especially children below the age of 5 years, 6 years, and onwards. This comes because there is a belief that witchcraft works more or becomes more strong when some of the body parts, when blood of the children is involved. And because people seek like help from witch doctors, they make them want to get like the strongest witchcraft that can help them, and realize that the children are the ones that fall victim of being sacrificed, because they believe that their parts make the witchcraft more stronger. In the year 2008, there was a crime that Awan Joseph Kasirye was sacrificed. He was 12 years in Uganda here by a gentleman called Katoka Jubi. He was a businessman. But this was one of the cases in Uganda that faced the law, that he was taken to court and he was sentenced to death. It is so sad that if this is one of the cases that is talked about and was brought to court, what about other cases that are not even known, that are not even brought to the social media or the media platforms? In the rural areas, in the urban areas, the children are sacrificed and they are hurt. The recent one was in September 2020, where a man in the names of Niwashaba Joseph sacrificed a young girl. The police reports that she was between the age of 5 to 7 years. And before they even sacrificed her head, she was defiled and yet brought to the police, to the Speaker of Parliament as a gift. They brought her head as a gift. And up to now, they're still making investigations. It is so sad that a few people have come up to talk about this thing where children are sacrificed. The innocent souls, the innocent children are sacrificed here in Uganda. People believe that maybe child sacrifice is where children are stolen and taken to another part of the country and sacrificed, but no. The child sacrifice victims are here in our communities, are here in our villages, where children, as young as they are sacrificed. The recent one is, the story I was talking about is the family. This child was in a family, so it's not like the child is on the streets, no. That is why any child can fall victim of child sacrifice. no matter the race, no matter whether they have the parents, whether they have the guardians, whether they're street kids, any child can fall victim of human trafficking. But like I said, when such issues come up, because it's not our child, it's not our community, we do not do anything about it. The second form of child trafficking is child marriage. This comes in a way that people believe that there's the inequality bit of it, where a child is looked at as inferior than a girl child is looked at as inferior than a boy child. And parents look at, if I am educating a girl child, at the end of the day, they're going to get married and they're not going to add any value to me. And which is not realistic, of course. So you realize that girls are married off at an early age. The UNICEF report indicates that 40% of the girls get married before their 18th birthday, which is really alarming. The recent report, the statistics that we're talking about is that girls were married off, 128 girls were married off just after this lockdown, during the COVID-19 lockdown, which is so sad that a child has a right to achieve their dreams and to also have education, but parents marry off these children because they think they have no value, or they marry them off to pay their debt, or they think that they can make decisions for them as parents. But it's really sad, so sad. Another form of child trafficking is child soldiers. Many children are used in conflict communities as soldiers. They are used to in front, like they're put on the front line. They're used as investigators. They are used as like they finish the mission. Like you watch the things in the movies, but the things happen. Like those mission suicide sessions, that children are used in those places, and these children are young. Some of them are taken there by force. Some of them are taken there because they really are desperate. They want to find out what happens there. But it's not a common form that people always know, but the things happen, like children are taken to be soldiers at a young age. And even if they die, people don't care. Like those people who take them, the traffickers, do not care about it because they're not their children and they're not in their community. And another form of child trafficking is the sex trafficking of children. You find a child, and I want to make this statement, like there is no child who is a prostitute. No child is a prostitute. They are forced, they're lured into this act by the traffickers that threaten. Some of them work on a gunpoint. Some of them work in situations of, if you don't bring me money, if you don't sleep with this person, or you don't sleep with this dog. Yes, they sleep with dogs, some of the children, young girls. You're going to be killed. So they're threatened. And when you see a young child acting the way they're acting, don't judge them. Try as much as possible to help them, because children are never prostitutes. They don't make such decisions, but traffickers lure them into this act. Another form of child trafficking is, it's really, really sad. Like there's the debt bondage, where parents have debts with other people and then they make their children to pay them. It's like, if I have a debt and I'll make my child to pay you. So like parents have debts with other people, but then they be like, you know what? I'll give you my child. My child. So if they give you their child, you can do anything with their child. Whether you sexually harass them, whether you beat them up, whether you do anything with a child because they're paying a debt. Another form of child trafficking is child labor. Many of us are watching this video, and you have children around you that should know that they're supposed to be at school or they're supposed to be in their families, but they are in your homes working as housemaids. They are in your neighborhood working as housemaids. They are also in your neighborhood working in tea plantations, in sugarcane plantations. They are on the streets doing a lot of things they're not supposed to do. You find a child at the age of, say, 13, is a housemaid in someone's house, and they do work like they're really old people. Like they wash clothing, they clean the house. They are given work like, okay, as long as they're giving you money, we don't care. Hey, do something about it. Don't just watch a child because it's not your child doing the work they're not supposed to be doing. This is one of the forms of trafficking. This child is being trafficked and she or he does not have any help. They're not supposed to be in that area. They're supposed to be home. They're supposed to be taken care of. So until we rise up and we fight together, some of these forms of human trafficking will not go away. And then one of the forms that falls closely to child sacrifice is when the children are taken somewhere to be for them, they think that they're going to offer them help, but they're going to be removed, like their organs, to someone who is very important. There are reports that children they're shifted from, say, Uganda to Kenya or to India, for them to get those organs of the children that they have, that another person lives. But imagine if it was your child and is taken to a place to remove their organs for someone else to live. It's so bad. It is so sad. Another form of human trafficking of child trafficking is the illegal adoption. In our early videos, we talked about how some people take orphanages, and then they think okay, we are helping children, yet they're earning, themselves are earning out of it. So we realize that the people who adopt children illegally, a child has a parent, they have a father that are well, but then these people are adopting a child for their own purposes. Like we talked in the earlier conversation, that these traffickers do these things for their own purposes, not for the people that they claim to be helping. So children are adopted illegally, where we have seen parents come up and say, that's my child, I am here, and then it's really, really sad that even when they are adopted illegally, they're not treated well. They're treated in a very bad way. So let's stop thinking that if it's not my child, it is not my community, it's not my country, we cannot do anything about it. Let's rise up together and do something about it. Imagine if we rose up and we are fighting for the children in different parts of the country before they even come to our own areas. Don't wait for traffickers to come to your own child until you do something about it. Do something about it before your child is hurt or before your child becomes a victim of child trafficking. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you're learning something in this conversation, and I hope your children do not fall victims. Share this video with your children, share this video with your relatives, share this video with people that you care about, especially those in the whole world, because everyone matters. Thank you so much.